So let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. We're also streaming the show live on YouTube. Just search for Smooth 981 on YouTube. Good morning, Rotus. Good morning, Fisayo.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Zibby. Good morning, Lagos.
All right, so we're talking about a cashless Nigeria, the march to a cashless Nigeria.
Yeah, so are we there or not? We're not there yet, Sha.
Okay.
Far from it. Very, very far from it. But yeah, Fisayo, what did you make of the president's is it compromise? Is that what it is? Is that what it was yesterday? To allow 200 naira notes? Yeah, Lagos should let us know. Oh yeah, I think they shared their thoughts on Freshly Pressed yesterday. But Fisayo, what do you make of the 200 naira notes compromise from the president?
I sincerely don't know. I think if there's anything to say about the president is that he's a very consistent man, right? If he has made up his mind to do something, there is nothing he can do a lot of times to change his mind, irrespective of the suffering or anything that anyone is going through. Right?
Like fuel subsidies.
Yeah, I mean, just many things, border closure, NSAS, just many things that he just takes decision and people like, no, this doesn't make sense. But I remember back in the days, people that complained were called wailing wailers or something like that.
Yeah.
But suddenly, people that supported him then and cheered him on then are the ones then now complaining today. So it's just a consistent guy, irrespective of whose side you're on. He can decide to do anything he wants to do, right? Which is one thing that you should give him props for. Anyways, on the Naira redesign between himself, the president, and of course the CBN governor, I'm not sure exactly what is happening or why they are doing what they're doing. Of course, there have been speculations around vote buying, wanting to prevent vote buying, people that have stored cash in their house because of the elections, all of that kind of thing. Again, maybe that's what they're doing, maybe not. But again, no one is clear specifically about why they're doing it and why they have to do it now, irrespective of the fact that it is clearly not working, right? But yesterday when he then said, okay, well, you can use 200 naira notes rather than the 500 and 1,000 naira notes, I guess, I'm wondering why did you have to do that again? So it just met so many questions that this has raised, right? Or is it because 200 naira is smaller than other notes so that it still achieves some difficulty around, vote buying because you're just using 200 naira to buy the votes, all of that. Again, those are the questions I'm asking myself, right? So it's difficult.
Does it get us closer to a cashless society or not? If you think about the number of alternative channels we've been using. Yeah,
so I think they have shown sometimes the weakness of the alternative channels about how maybe it can't be easily expanded to address increased transactions, right? It shows that many people still don't have bank accounts because, of course, digital payment is still being rejected by many people. Bank transfers is still being rejected by many people because they don't have bank accounts. And this is inside Lagos. I can imagine what is happening outside of Lagos. So I guess that's why the protests are happening outside of Lagos, because people don't have other means of, receiving payment outside of cash, right? I think that to drive digital payments, right, this is not the way, this is not the approach. I don't think that's what they are trying to achieve with this. It is clearly that the new Naira notes are not sufficient, right, to go around. That's what is happening. So if anything else happens, it's going to be an haphazard, drive to cashless society. But it's not planned at all, right? So I guess that's where the real problem essentially lies. That's where the real problem lies, right? It's not a deliberate drive to say we are driving financial inclusion, ensuring that people are able to accept payments, and this is strategy we put in place. This is like, well, there's no Naira notes available. You have to find an alternative way of collecting money, right? And that's what is happening, right? So, and of course, because the digital challenge are also very stressed, right? Or they have been stretched to their brim, right? So I still have transactions that have been pending, that have been debited for, that I've not received refunds for. And the person that I sent the money to, I've not received value for, right? That has happened to me. It's been over 2 weeks now. I can't even get into the bank. So I'm just waiting that one day I'll be able to, figure out a way to address this particular problem. So I'm just waiting. I mean, and thank God it's not a lot of money that I can, hold out on. But again, I can imagine many people like that have their money, dispense errors, decline transactions that you're debited for. All of those kind of things are happening to many people. And of course, the banks are shut. Many banks are shut, and they can't even just get, to address some of those problems. So again, there's no strategy here. It's just chaos everywhere, right? And that's not how to drive, a cashless policy. You don't drive cashless policy by chaos.
Good points. Speaking of, let's move to another topic where somebody is trying to avoid chaos. Tesla recalling, was it 362,758 vehicles, saying that their self-driving software may cause crashes. Do you think you ever get behind the wheel of a self-driving car? Do you think we're on the path to self-driving vehicles? Are we heading there?
What do you mean on the path? People are already using it today.
So we're here already.
So we are here already. But it just
has to be would you ride behind a self-driving car? Would you do it?
I mean, if people are, it's like at some point I feel like I don't have a choice, right? It's like I don't have a choice, right? So it's not like I want to choose or not. It's going to happen to all of us, right? Where we have to use self-driving vehicles, right? Maybe not now. Maybe I'll wait till the technology is a lot more mainstream, where it is highly unlikely that I'm going to get into a crash, highly, more predictable, just better navigation systems, better braking, better accident prevention systems, right? I guess that I will have to wait for that to happen. But I'm not the most, adventurous person. I'm not going to get excited right now today. I'm just moving into self-driving vehicles, as the case might be. But for Tesla specifically, recalling vehicles, I guess that vehicle recall, again, if I want to look at that holistically, vehicle recalls are not specific to Tesla, right? Many other, auto manufacturers have recalled different batches of their vehicle because of many different things. It could be the braking system, it could be the acceleration system, it could be some plug that could, explode. Even mobile phone manufacturers, I remember the Samsung that explodes when you charge, back in the day. So all of them had to be recalled. So again, some of those problems can happen as part of, manufacturing errors, as the case might be. So I guess the reasonable thing to do is to, swallow your pride and recall the vehicles, because, the PR for a crashing Tesla is worse than that of just you recalling those vehicles. I guess that's what they're trying to do.
I agree. I agree. Real quick, ChatGPT. I don't think we've had a chance to talk about that on this show yet, with all the hype over this thing. The AI that could possibly be replacing people's jobs. Do you think it's overhyped? I've tried it out. It's pretty interesting. Well, what do you think about the ChatGPT and where artificial intelligence is taking us?
Actually, we've talked about it before on the show, but not with
we did, eh? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I think you were away, right? So I guess again, my position then has not changed, because I think that as innovative as it might be, it can also be very dangerous, right? Because we started seeing, is it what the left will call unconscious bias? But it's not unconscious bias; it's a deliberate bias, right? The ChatGPT has been programmed to have some opinions, even though it claims not to have opinions. ChatGPT, if I asked about, because I remember before the show, I asked okay, what's the case for fossil fuel? And then ChatGPT insisted there's no case for fossil fuel. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't, right? that everything should be renewable. Like, no, that's a lie. That makes absolutely no sense, right? I mean, and that's me testing it out, right? So I can imagine when this becomes a lot more mainstream, ChatGPT can essentially, shape opinions of people, can, make people act in a certain way because the information is given specifically is how it has been programmed to address some of those issues. And of course,
like
how
many genders are there?
Right. So, like, yeah, there are more than two genders. Again, that's what ChatGPT will likely tell me. So it is a very dangerous, very dangerous path, right? If something is objective, let's so that, because the truth is that there's argument on both sides. You can't just show up and say there's no case for fossil fuel. That makes no sense. Today, it is cheaper. That's a case for it. It is cheaper than renewable energy because the cost of batteries. And again, those are some things that, okay, ChatGPT could have addressed. I'm not saying that, fossil fuel is the best thing, that renewable is not good anyway. No, at least put out the points that, yes, there are arguments on both sides. This is what people that are pro, fossil fuel are saying. This is what they are anti-fossil fuel are saying, and then allow people make their decisions rather than you just saying that no, there's absolutely no case for fossil fuel. So for me, I thought that was disingenuous. It makes no sense. And of course, we started to say other examples when people ask, right? Say something good about the male gender. Well, you say, no, there's nothing good about the male gender. Say something good about the female gender, and then you show up, write a long article about how great the female gender is, right? They're like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, to be
ask
fair,
people to say, okay, what's the positive thing about Donald Trump? To say, suddenly there's nothing good about Donald Trump. But tell me what is great about Barack Obama. Oh, everything is great about Barack Obama. Again, these are things. Barack Obama literally lit Africa on fire. Because all the wars that you're seeing in Libya, just all those nonsense. But ChatGPT doesn't recognize all of those.
I think the right needs more software engineers, and the right needs to create its own.
I guess my argument is that I don't think this should be a political argument. This should be like just common sense.
Yeah, I asked ChatGPT who makes better jollof rice between Nigeria and Ghana, and he gave me a neutral answer, which I thought was interesting. He said, "Oh well, it depends on your tastes and it depends on where you're from," and he didn't want to take a position. So you can. I think you have a point. Certain things. So interesting.
Well, he has hardline positions on fossil fuel because I asked the guy, ChatGPT 3, I asked it directly, like, okay, what's the case for fossil fuel? I said, no, absolutely no case. That it is causing, it's the cause of every bad thing that's happening in the world that we have to be renewable. Like, come on, stop that nonsense. But again, it's what it is.
Fisayo, thanks for joining us on the show. Really appreciate your thoughts on the cashless Nigeria, Tesla recalling its self-driving vehicles, and the march towards artificial intelligence, ChatGPT and its bias. Thanks, Fisayo. Zibby.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show this morning. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Rotus and Fisayo. Do stay with us. There is a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.
Brought to you by